So, have a word with yourself, eh? I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking.
Have a word with myself? What the fuck's King D on about this time?
Well, stick around and all will be revealed. King D back with an... Who the fuck threw this? Oh, never mind. So like I was saying anyway, King D back with another one. And this video is called Have a Word with Yourself. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is you need to have a dialogue with yourself constantly. Well, frequently anyway. So always listen to yourself, watch yourself, and talk to yourself. Maybe not out loud. That's not what I'm saying. For anyone taking anything I ever say literally, which I'm sure there's one guy. There normally is. So what I mean is you need to get to know yourself, understand who you are, what's your limitations, what do you really want, what is motivating you to do the things you are doing in life, what's making you unhappy. Ask yourself these questions. Have a word with yourself. And what's stopping you doing the things you want to do? And how could you be better at doing them? I'll give you an example. I'm a dad. I have 3 children. They are amazing. They really are. And it's my job as a parent, as a dad, to be the best dad I can be. And I strive to be. But I'm not perfect. Nobody is. There's no perfect parent on this planet. There's no such thing as, there's not a manual for being a parent that we all have to live by, and there's no such thing. And every kid's different, every person's different, every relationship between people is different. So, it's not all one size fits all anyway, is it? But anyway, I'm going off again. So, yeah. So what I do every weekend, I have my kids, and when I take them home, on the drive home, and when I get back home, I have a word with myself. And I reflect on the weekend and the time I've had with them. And I think, right, what worked? What could I have done better? And what can I learn from what happened that weekend? And chances are there's going to be something I find that I think, you know what, I could have handled that situation better than I did. Or I could have said something to the kids that I think I need to apologise for that, because I want to be the best parent I can be. And I'm going to make mistakes, and I think it's important as a parent to apologise. And again, I'm getting off. This is not what this video is about. We've done being a parent. Check that one out. But that's something I do regularly. Every weekend, I reflect. I look at myself and I have a word with myself. Right, why did I do that? Why did that work? But then this happened, say. Whatever it could be. It could be anything. And same as, say if I feel a bit shit one day, right? And then a couple of days go by and I'm still, don't feel right. Something's just don't feel myself. Straight away, have a word with yourself. That's what I do. If I've had a couple of days where I just don't feel right, I have to have a word with myself. Right, why am I not feeling myself? I don't mean feeling myself. I'm not doing that. I mean, you know what I mean? So say, yeah, I'm feeling a bit shitty, right? I've got to think, right, why am I feeling shitty? I ask myself that, why am I feeling shitty? I can look back over the last week or so. Is there anything that's happened that's really knocked me? Or where I thought, something shit happened, but I thought, I'm fine. I carried on, then later on down the line, it's like, you know what? I think I'm holding on to that, whether I said or thought that it's not bothering me. Clearly it is, because now it's been a few days and now I'm starting to feel a bit lousy. Like I haven't processed it. I haven't allowed myself to feel something to then let it go, which there's another video in itself there. And same with what I do every day. So down to my job, down to the people I have in my life, down to this, right? Everything that I do has been thought about long and hard. Right, before I decided to do a YouTube channel, it was 2 years of really thinking about it before I even did it. To really think to myself, is this for me? Can I actually help people? Am I even qualified to even help somebody? And over the years, obviously, I've developed a lot, and I've learned a lot where, yeah, definitely, I'm more than capable of helping other people through YouTube. And again, same with the people in my life, do you know what I mean? Same as like relationships. Say if I'm in a relationship with a lady, and I think a lot of blokes we're doing this, have a word with yourself, chaps, because the amount of lads in relationships, this is another video and all. I could do this forever, guys, and I'm sure I will. Well, say you're in a relationship, right? What are you getting out of that relationship versus what are you sacrificing? What are you putting in? Now, I know this for most blokes I know, married blokes or long-term relationship blokes, where they seem like they are the butler, they are the servants for their woman who decides whether or not he can go out or do any of these things. I had a friend I spoke to not even that long ago. I'm not going to say his name for his own protection. But I remember talking to him and he was like, right, so what do you do and at home with your missus? And basically he does everything, right? And she still always finds something to moan about him. And I'm like, fuck it hell, man. I mean, sounds like you do everything. You do it all. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, well, what does she do? And he's like, not a fucking deal. I said to him, so what are you doing with her, really? It just sounds like grief. I says, does she at least blow you every night? He's like, no, can't remember the last time she did that. I said, what, sex? Yeah, have sex? He says, once in a blue moon will he get his leg over, right? Because, don't get me wrong, us chaps, we like a bit of sex, don't we? We enjoy it. It's, it's one of the perks of being in a relationship. You've got a bit of vagina on top there, do you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, if he's got to slave around at home all day, every day, but if she's blowing him every night and giving him some great sex every night, then, you know what I mean? I mean, there's the risk and the sacrifice and the shit he's putting in, but you get that every night, you know what I mean? Weigh it up, is it worth it? And you've got to ask yourself that, is it worth it? Whatever you're doing in your life, is it worth my time, my stress, my mental health, or all these areas? Now, before I went back to doing what I do now, which is, landscape gardening, driveways, patios, I was working in care. And as much as there was a lot of parts to that job I absolutely loved, it was challenging behaviour, and the service users I were looking after and working with were amazing. I missed them so much. But then the headache I had from the staff towards the end, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? And then I look at the pay. The pay was dog shit for the stress I had and the workload I had and what I had to do and the responsibilities I had. I'd compare that with how much I was getting paid, and I thought, this does not add up. So I had a word with myself. Why am I still doing this? Ask yourself these difficult questions sometimes. You have to. And I couldn't find a good reason as to why I was still doing what I was doing when it was affecting my health and my peace. So I had to listen to myself, and again, listening to yourself, getting to know yourself, like you're another person, somebody you have to talk to get to know, because it's pretty much what they are, and you're stuck with this person for the rest of your life. You got to get to know them. A lot of people do not know themselves. They're living somebody else's life, or they're doing whatever, or they're just floating through life and not really even thinking about, what do I want? What would make me happy? What's making me fucking miserable that I'm doing that I could do something else? I mean, I could go down so many rabbit holes with this video. I mean, I'll probably break this down into other videos at some point, but try and stick to what we're on about here, which is just have a word with yourself frequently. And I do as often as I can. I'll sit down and just think about my life, right? How can I make my life better? And what's my issues? Because sometimes you'll have issues and you just brush it off like it's nothing, but it's still niggling at you. And, you know, a few niggles, they build and you think, fucking hell. And then out of nowhere, you just feel like shit. You're stressed, you're depressed. You're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, if you had a word with yourself and listened to yourself, you'd have figured that out before it got to that. Yeah? So, listen to yourself. And ask yourself the questions as well that you don't want to ask and you don't want to answer, but you should. Because it's these uncomfortable questions like, why am I with this person? Why am I doing this job? Yeah, and if the pros and the cons, they don't add up, the cons are up here and the pros are down here, then you need to think about something else and think what's more important. You think, oh, but all the money, and if I pack that up, I want to be losing out on a lot of money, but it's making me miserable and I'm depressed and I just want to curl up into a ball and forget everything. Well, maybe to you money's more important, but I dare say if most people really honestly ask themselves, I dare say they're going to say their mental health is more important than money. And it is. It should be. I think it should be for everybody. So really get to know yourself, talk to yourself, think, really think and ask yourself questions. Get to know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, you can't help you. And you can't really progress in the areas you want to progress in because you don't know what you want, really. The amount of people doing what people expect of them and not what they actually want to do. Seriously, one life, that's all you're getting. You're going to live it for everybody else. You're going to be miserable because of X, Y, Z, because you've not really thought about it. You're just going with the flow, going with emotions, and just keeping your head down and not really thinking for yourself. Figure it out, figure out who you are, learn who you are, and then like the video as well. Drop us a comment, tell your friends, and be the best you. And do it for you. Cheers.